Listen to me right now. Not after this. Not in a minute. Now, what is happening around you is not random. It is not a coincidence. It is not just a rough season. There is something deliberate moving against your life, and you are running out of time to recognize it before it costs you everything. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to warn you. The window God has opened for you to receive this message is narrow. Most people scroll past it. Most people tell themselves they will come back later. Most people miss the divine interruption because it arrived without fanfare, without a dramatic sign, without the kind of obvious signal they were waiting for. But you stopped. Something in you stopped, and that was not accident. That was God pulling you out of the current before it carries you somewhere you cannot come back from. So hear me when I say this. What you are about to receive is not content. It is a lifeline, and you need every word of it. If your spirit is already responding, if something in your chest is tightening because you know this is for you, type Amen in the comments right now, not later, now. And if you want to be part of ensuring this warning reaches the next person before it is too late for them too, the Ko-Fi link is pinned in the comments. A coffee, a seed, whatever you have. Because every offering you make here becomes a shield that finds someone standing on the edge of a decision that could alter their entire future. Plant it now. You have been feeling it for weeks, maybe months, the unease that will not go away. The heaviness that sits on your chest in the morning before you even open your eyes. The sense that something is wrong, but you cannot name it, cannot prove it, cannot get anyone else to validate it. And so you have been telling yourself you are overthinking. You have been pushing it down. You have been giving people the benefit of the doubt when your spirit was screaming that something was off. Stop. Just stop. That unease is not anxiety. That heaviness is not depression. That persistent sense that something is wrong is the Holy Spirit sounding an alarm in the only place it can reach you when you are moving too fast to hear anything else. It is reaching you through your body, through your gut, through the part of you that knows before your mind has caught up. And what it is trying to tell you is this: there are people in your life right now who are not who they have presented themselves to be. There are situations that look fine on the surface, but are actively working against everything God is trying to do in your life. There are doors you have been about to open that would set you back 2 years in a single decision. And you are almost out of time to change course. Share this right now with someone you know is in the middle of a decision they are not sure about. Someone who has been feeling that same unease and has been dismissing it. Because this warning is not just for you. It is for everyone in your circle who has been ignoring what their spirit is trying to say. And for those who feel the pull to go deeper into this prophetic space, the Ko-Fi link is pinned in the comments. What you give does not fund content. It funds the next warning that arrives at the exact moment someone needs it before the trap closes. Do it now. Here is what God is doing in this season that almost no one understands. He is not just protecting you from your enemies. He is protecting you from your own willingness to extend grace past the point where grace becomes a door left open for destruction. He is protecting you from your generous heart. He is protecting you from the version of you that wants to believe the best in everyone, even when the evidence has been mounting for months that someone specific does not deserve that belief. Because here is the truth about this moment. The person you keep making excuses for is not confused. They are not going through something that explains their behavior. They are not having a hard season that makes them act the way they act. They are exactly who they have been showing you. And the longer you spend trying to find a different explanation, the longer they have access to something they never should have been given access to in the first place. God is not going to force you to see this. He is going to show you and then let you choose. The same grace that gives you the capacity to love deeply is the same grace that will let you walk into a situation He already warned you about, if that is what you choose. He will not drag you out. He will hold the door open and wait for you to walk through it on your own. But He will not hold it open forever. This season has an expiration date. The window of easy exit, the window where you can step away without significant loss, is narrowing. There will come a point where extraction is still possible, but it will cost you more than it costs you right now. And there will come a point after that where the only way through is through, where the only way out is to go all the way in and then come out the other side with damage that God can still heal, but that did not have to happen. You are in the first window, the one where the exit is clean. Subscribe right now and turn on every notification. Because what I am releasing in this space over the coming days is not casual encouragement. It is strategic prophetic preparation for the season you are walking into. You need to be here for what is coming, and for those who feel called to become part of this mission, to partner with what God is doing through this space. The Ko-Fi link is pinned in the comments. This is not a passive invitation. This is an active call to participate in something that is reaching people at the exact edge of their most important decisions. Answer it. Let me tell you exactly what the enemy strategy looks like in this season so you can recognize it. It does not come as obvious opposition. It does not come as direct attack. It comes as something that looks like blessing, like connection, like finally getting what you have been asking for. It comes wrapped in the language you most respond to, using the approach that most easily bypasses your defenses, presented by someone who took time to study you before making their move, and they did study you. That is the part most people never fully accept. The idea that someone calculated how to approach them, the idea that the charm, the timing, the specific words that landed so perfectly were not organic, were not genuine, were a strategy, but they were. The people sent to delay, drain, and derail God's chosen ones do not operate randomly. They operate with precision. They arrive at vulnerable moments, they speak to unhealed wounds, they offer what has been withheld, and they position themselves so deeply inside your trust before revealing their true agenda that by the time you see it clearly, you have already given them access to things that cannot easily be taken back. This is why God is interrupting your day right now. Not after the decision, not after the relationship deepens, not after the access is granted. Now before, while there is still a clean exit, while the cost of change is still low. Now, before we go any further, if this word is finding you at the exact right moment, if something in your spirit is recognizing this as the warning you have been waiting for, type 777 in the comments. Let that number be your marker. The declaration that you received this word and you are going to act on it before the window closes. And for those who want to partner with this prophetic mission, the Ko-Fi link is pinned in the comments. Your seed funds, the next warning, the next alert. The next word that finds someone at the edge of their critical window and pulls them back before they step through. Plant it. Here is the hardest part of this warning, and I need you to hear it without flinching. Some of the people God is asking you to create distance from are not bad people. Some of them are people you genuinely love. Some of them are people who have been in your life for years, people who have been through things with you, people whose pain is real and whose struggle you understand. But loving someone does not mean staying in proximity to them when their presence is interfering with your assignment. Caring for someone does not mean giving them access to the parts of your life that God has placed under specific protection for this specific season. Forgiving someone does not mean reinstating them to a position of influence they have misused. You can love people from a distance. You can pray for someone while maintaining a boundary that prevents them from continuing to cost you what God is trying to give you. You can wish someone well and still say, "Not here, not now, not in this season." That is not coldness. That is not cruelty. That is not unforgiveness wearing a spiritual disguise. That is wisdom. That is discernment. That is obedience to a God who has seen what you have not seen, who has calculated what you have not calculated, who is asking you to trust his assessment even when everything in you wants to find a reason to disregard it. The guilt you feel is not evidence that you are wrong. The guilt is evidence that you care. But caring and complying are two different things. And right now, God is asking you to care from a distance while complying with his direction to protect what he is building. Share this with someone who needs to hear that distance is not the same as abandonment. Someone who has been guilted into staying connected to something God has been asking them to step away from. Someone who confuses loyalty to people with obedience to God. And for those who feel led to support the mission carrying these words, the Ko-Fi link is pinned in the comments. What you give reaches the person who is stuck between what they feel and what they know. It gives them the courage to choose what they know. Plant your seed now. So here is what you need to do. Not eventually. Today, get quiet. Not in a passive way. In a deliberate, intentional, sit down and be still kind of way. And in that quiet, ask God directly to show you what you have been avoiding seeing. Not the comfortable version, not the filtered version, the full picture of what is actually in front of you. And then do not argue with what he shows you. Do not negotiate. Do not ask for more confirmation. You have already received more confirmation than you needed. You have been collecting evidence for months. The case is already made. What you are waiting for is not more information. What you are waiting for is the courage to act on what you already know. And that courage does not come from waiting for it. It comes from moving before you feel ready. It comes from choosing obedience in the moment when everything in you wants to choose delay. This is that moment. Before we close, for those who feel called to partner with this mission so it can keep reaching people at the exact edge of their most important decisions, the Ko-Fi link is pinned in the comments. What you give is not a donation. It is a declaration. It declares that you believe warning matters, that you believe prophetic preparation matters, that you believe the person standing at their critical window deserves to receive what you just received before it is too late. That declaration goes into the spiritual record of your life, and heaven honors those who invest in the protection of others. The link is waiting. Chosen one, the time for deliberation is over. The time for one more conversation, one more chance, one more round of hoping things will change is over. God has been patient with this situation far longer than it deserved. He has been waiting for you to see what he already saw. He has been holding the door open. He has been sounding the alarm through your own spirit. He has now sent this word directly into your day to remove every excuse for continued delay. The choice in front of you is simple, even if it does not feel simple. Obey now while the exit is clean, or wait until the cost of leaving is higher than it needs to be. You already know which one God is asking you to choose. Now move.